Good evening to everybody. Nice to see you all, to hear you all. I wanted to discuss tonight the matter of shaykhad, bribery. You'll see why I'm talking about it this week. It's connected to this week's parsha. Bribery, usually we identify it as a not a good thing. Because usually you think about bribery as like bribing a judge. He's in the middle of a court case, two people, and to bribe the judge, certainly that's against the do that. Torah naturally forbids doing that, to give a bribe, to take a bribe. And what is the bribe? You go to the judge and tell him, I'll give you something if you'll give me something back for it, which usually is something not good. I'll give you some money if you'll judge me favorably against the other person, even though it's not true. But I'll give you me back. Usually two steps. I'll give you something, you give me something back for what I'm giving you. Well, actually, we'll say, well, what do we have to do? We're not judges, and we're not into the court room that we should have this problem coming up to us. And why am I talking about bribery to people who are not judges? But the truth is that we are every day being bribed, and we have to resist the bribery. What I've discussed talking about is the yetzer hara, the evil that is in the world, within us, surrounding us, coming to us all different ways, is trying to bribe us to do something wrong. Yetzer hara tells us, listen, yetzer hara, the evil, Satan, Satan, I'll give you something good if you'll give me something back. I'll give you the goodness, the pleasure of something if you'll give me back something which is wrong. That's for me. That's my job. It's hard to get us to do evil. So he wants us to do some evil, and he wants us to be bribed by him by having something good out of the evil that we're doing. I'll give you something for your benefit, and back for that, I want you to give me back. That's like the judge. Tell the judge, I'll give you something, some money, give me a good verdict. It's ours. I'll give you something, pleasure, and back for that, I want you to do evil. Usually, with the yetzer hara, it works at that. It comes at the same time. And what I'm referring to is, we find the Esav was in Russia, we call him a bad person, weak person, Esav, the brother of Yaakov Avinu. And he was influenced by the bribe of the yetzer hara in a very big way. We find before, we read about Esav came from the soda, he was very thirsty, hungry, tired, and Yaakov Avinu was cooking some beans, we call it, and he told him, I'm very hungry, give me to eat the beans. So Yaakov said, well, if you sell me the birthright that you have, so then I'll give you the beans. Because we know that Esav was born first before Yaakov. He had what was the birthright? Birthright was that to serve Hashem by bringing sacrifices to him. Later on, it was given over to the Kahanim in the Beis HaMikdash, the priests in the Beis HaMikdash. But in the early days, the Bechor of the family had the right to serve Hashem in that way, to bring korbanos, to bring sacrifice to Hashem. It was considered a great honor, privilege for a Bechor, for a firstborn, to have that privilege to serve Hashem in the way of bringing sacrifices to him. And Yaakov Avinu did not want Esav to have that privilege because he was a Russia, he was a wicked person, and not qualified for him to bring sacrifice to Hashem. So he has this opportunity to get the Bechor away from Esav, and he told Esav, "You'll sell to me your privilege to be the Bechor, the firstborn, and I will take over the right to serve Hashem, and not you. Then I'll give you the beans." So Esav went along with it. He said, "Well, I need this for, things. If you're afraid of it, he might get punished with it. You take it. Give me the beans. I'll give you the Bechor. I'll give you the right to take Bechor and to serve Hashem and bring sacrifice to Hashem." So this was, the Torah says, a very complimentary words about it. He shamed the Bechorah, gave up such a great privilege that he had to serve Hashem for a pot of beans. Here we have a good example. Yitzhahara come to Esav. That's Yitzhahara say, "Esav, I got something good for you. You're very hungry. I got a pot of beans for you, but I'm going to bribe you with that. But you have to give me something. You have the Yitzhahara. You have to give up the Bechorah and give up your big privilege that you have to serve Hashem." This is an example of a person out of the courtroom being bribed, and Esav is very much criticized. How could you do such a thing like that? Pot of beans, give away this big privilege that you have. It's like you're giving a dollar to accepting $1 to give $1,000 away. Doesn't make any sense. You give me $1 and give me $1,000. Eat a pot of beans, take the beans, and give away a Bechorah. But this is the wickedness of Esav, that he was called a big Baal Taiva, very lustful person, and a very desirous person. And food to him was, especially when he was very hungry, was very important to him, to the extent that he would give away the Bechorah, something so special, so important. And this Esav, that was his personality and his way of life from the time he was born. It was called Esav, means finished, done. That was his whole idea in life. A person does not have to work on himself to change himself. The way a person is born, his character traits are with him. The way he's born, don't work on them. That's how God created you. Just stick to them. You might be desirous, stay desirous. You might be lazy. That's why Hashem can't be lazy. You might be hardiness or gaiva. That's why Hashem created you. That's why you have to work on yourself. Maybe it's even not the right thing. If God created that way, so he wants it to be that way. What right do you have to change yourself? So therefore, Esav, he was finished, he's done. He was born, character traits that he had, that's who he's going to live with, go through life with, and not like Yaakov, and was stepping in the right direction little by little to perfect himself. Yaakov was called because he was holding on to the foot of Esav when they were being born. The parents had a foot, a person steps and goes and step by step reaches heights that Yaakov wanted to change himself, perfect himself. Esav was, that's me. That's where I was born, and that's what I am. And therefore, I love food, and I love it so much that I'll even sell my right to serve Hashem. To that extent, we'll go. And we find Usmi's parsha in the same way. Esav is coming, he's angry at Yaakov for taking away the bechor, for taking the brachos from him, taking the blessings. They wait for almost more than 20 years. That Esav wanted to kill Yaakov. Now he's coming back again to try to get after over 20 years. He wants to kill him again. So Yaakov knows how to calm down Esav. Here Esav's coming with his men to kill. How do you calm down Esav? You bribe him. You bribe him. You give him something good. give him something good, that'll change his mind. He sent him a big present. There are all kinds of animals, different types of animals, sent him a big present. And Esav came, instead of killing, they came to kiss Yaakov. They kissed each other. So Esav again is showing his character traits, which are animalistic character traits that he has. Money. He wants to have a lot of animals that he got that's worth thousands of dollars, and who knows how much it was worth then. And that calmed him down. He came to kill, and now once he's bribed by Yaakov, this is the way bribery is good. In that case, that was bribed, and therefore he didn't want to kill Yaakov anymore. He made up with him. But this was Esav's whole theory of life, that you live with your character traits that you're born with, and whatever you like to do, you do, and you don't have to work on yourself to control yourself. It's just as long as you don't hurt anybody else, you live it up, and you go according to what you feel like doing. Esav, we know his head was the Maras HaMachpelah. We know the Maras HaMachpelah. I'm sure many of you have been there in Hebron, where the patriarchs and matriarchs were buried. The four couples, Adam and Chava, Adam and Eve, buried there. Abraham and Sarah, Yitzchak and Rivka, Yaakov and Rachel, and Leah, are buried there. And Esav, because the whole story tried to stop them from burying Yaakov there, and one of the Shvatim took a sharp instrument and cut off his head. His head rolled into the Maras HaMachpelah. Imagine that. His head was cut off. Esav's head was cut off. It rolled in Maras HaMachpelah. His body wasn't buried there, but his head was buried there, someplace. And Maras HaMachpelah told him, why is that? Why did Hashem give him that right to be buried in Maras HaMachpelah? Because he had a big head. Esav was a very smart person, very geniusy person, very, very bright, and very knowledgeable. And he could have been a very great person, because God doesn't force anybody to be a Rasha. A person is a wicked person, that's by choice. Every person who's born could be great, could be a great person. Esav could have been a great person also. But he left his heart, that was the control. The heart we consider the part that makes the blood flow to the person's body, and the nefesh shechiyuni, the nefesh, the life of a person is in the blood. Like the Torah says, and the life of a person, that's where our midas come from. Our character traits are in the blood. Because nefesh ha'chiyuni we share with animals who have also nefesh ha'chiyuni. So nefesh ha'chiyuni has all the character traits of a person. That's through the blood of a person, pumped by the heart. If he would have separated his heart from his seichel, from his mind, he would have been a great person. But he let his character traits dictate to him how to live. All the bad midas dictated to him how to live. Sheikhat. Bribery makes even wise people blind to the truth. And that's what the problem with Esav. That's Hashem's. Don't judge. Don't take any money, any sheikhat, any bribery. Even if you want to judge the person correctly. Because once you take bribery, you're blind. You can't see the truth anymore. You're going to be feeling towards the person who gave that bribe to you. You can't help it. The Avrei makes you blind. Esav, the terrorists were telling us, Hashem is telling us, his head went in Maras HaMachpelah. He could have been great. He had a great head, a great mind. But we have to separate it from the heart, break off his head. The rest of his body, his heart was not buried together with his mind. That was his problem. He should have done that while he was alive, to separate his head from his intellect, from his emotions, from his midas that he had. Therefore, that's why his head was cut off, rolled into the Maras HaMachpelah, but his heart, the body was not with it, because that was the problem in his life. They were should have been separated, which he did not do. So here we have a case of Esav being a person with a great head, but being blinded by the bribery of Yetzer Hara, of his bad midas, of his bad character traits, that the Yetzer Hara bribes us with. And this is the problem of many great people we find in the Torah. great people who had great minds and great potential, but they're brought down by the bribery of the Yetzer Hara because of different character traits that they had, that they allowed their intellect to be influenced by the emotions or by the character traits, and they brought them down. We have Korach, Korach, who was a great person, but because of his gaiva, because of hardiness, that he was upset that Yetzer Hara gave him this opportunity, protest. Moshe Rabbeinu made his cousin in charge of their shevet of the Levium instead of him, and he felt he should be the ones in charge. He's very upset by that. He will not get the covet, the honor, and the respect that he would like to have. And therefore, he stood up and rose against Moshe Rabbeinu. Imagine that, against Moses, the greatest man. He said, "No, Moses is not true. He's not. You can't depend on him." What was bothering him? Because of his gaiva, because of his hardiness that he wanted to get the honor, the covet, and the respect, and therefore they brought him down. Just like Esav, his mind was brought down by his heart, by his bad midas, back to traits, his midas that he had. Korach, a great person, brought down. Bribery. Yetzer Hara said to him, Korach, you're a great man. Don't sit back and take it. Stand up and show everybody that you're not going to stand for what they're doing to me. Say to yourself, and you'll get that gaiva, but you have to pay for it by making a whole machlekes, making a whole dispute between the Jewish people and Moshe Rabbeinu. He made a lot of Jews rallied after him. He made a terrible rift in the Jewish nation in the desert at that time. Why? Because of his gaiva, because he wanted to get the respect and the honor. So there you have the bribery got him to do an avera, to do a sin. That he made machlekes because he wanted the Yetzer Hara. He told him, don't sit down and take it. Get up and stand up for your rights. Nasiim, the great elders of the Jewish people in charge of all Shvatim, did the same thing. They spoke against the Jews going to the land of Israel. Why? Because they would not become, they would lose their job as Nasiim, they would lose the respect, lose the gaiva. Their gaiva brought them down also the same way. Great people that they could have done such great things in their life. But Yetzer Hara bribes them and tells them, listen, I got some good things. Listen, the judge, tell the judge, listen, judge, I got some good money for you. You just help me out. The Yetzer Hara tells the person, I got great things for you. You'll get all the respect and all the gaiva that you want. But you go ahead and do the wrong thing for me, and I'll do the right thing for you. Bribery. And we face that daily in our life, that we have the Yetzer Hara coming to us with all kinds of promises he wants us to do. So this is something that we have to think about and apply it to our daily life. And if we think about it, there are so many things that we are tempted by the Yetzer Hara. He's trying to bribe us in order to get us to sin. And one of a few examples I think that are very common for us to realize, and we could apply it to ourselves in different ways. But let's take, for instance, Shabbos. We know Shabbos, we're not supposed to have our business open, not supposed to, a lot of things we're not allowed to do on Shabbos. But it's hard to come to some people and says, listen, I got some good things for you. You know how much money you can make on Shabbos? That's the day when your business is so active. That's when you make the most money. Go work on Shabbos, make that money, but you'll call Shabbos, but don't keep Shabbos. I'll give to you, you give to me. I'll give to the judge gives back to me. Give the judge the money gives me a good judgment. Yetzer Hara, we give Yetzer Hara what if he gives us what we want, gives us money, and then when we turn to the Yetzer Hara, he gets us, we don't keep Shabbos. So it's a bribe. It's bribing us. When it comes to any type of money to spend for a mitzvah, we'll tell a person, man doesn't have tefillin. You want it for your son, you want to buy a pair of tefillin, it's my mitzvah. How much is tefillin? What? So much money? Can't afford it. Too much money. Tefillin are very expensive, especially when you get real good tefillin. They're expensive. So, Yetzer Hara says, no, don't keep the money. Don't spend it for that. You'll give some to charity instead, a little bit of it, and don't spend so much money. Whatever it is, any mitzvah I'm talking about. A lady wants to light Shabbos candles. So you want to buy nice Shabbos to light in the right kind of candelabra that you want to light. It's expensive. Well, it's hard. Says don't spend the money for that. Keep the money for yourself, and you'll put the lights on instead, and don't light the candles instead of it. Sahara gives us bribes us with doing something good for ourselves. If we give him back something, we'll give him back by not keeping the mitzvah. Don't keep the mitzvah. We'll get money for it. We'll save the money, and then Sahara will have us do the avera, the sin that we're supposed to do. Or anytime it comes to keeping kosher, people have a hard time keeping kosher. So the Yetzer Hara comes and says, it has a lot of good bribery when it comes to eating kosher. Number one, person's eating non-kosher things, so delicious food, so good, all those clams and those, whatever there might be, non-kosher food, that same sandwiches, whatever it is, person's even maybe used to it, that they didn't have a religious background. And the Yetzer Hara says, "Come on, it's not so. It's today. It's not like it used to be. It used to be unhealthy to eat that type of. But today we cook it good today. Take out all the germs, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's delicious. It tastes good. He bribes us with, and therefore, but I want back, right? You eat delicious food, and I'll get my way. The Yetzer Hara, which here makes a sin. You'll save the money. Kosher food is so expensive. You go to the meat counter and you see the difference between the kosher food and non-kosher food. It's quite a difference. So it tells us it's a kosher animal. It's not pork. So, but it wasn't slaughtered the right way, it wasn't salted the right way. It's not really, but it's not pork. It's lamb or whatever my steaks that are from kosher animals. So you see, you'll save so much money by not buying the kosher food. So here he's bribing us. Look how much money you're going to save. It's a bribery. And he wants to make a deal. We'll make a deal. You save a lot of money and you eat the delicious food. And then from me, you'll give back. Then you'll eat kosher food. So again, here we come to a situation where the Yetzer Hara is coming to us all the time with all different sins we can commit, chas v'shalom, God forbid. The way we talk. It's so nice to talk, gossip about people, gossip about them. It's a hard tells us, you'll enjoy yourself. Sit down and gossip about this one, gossip about that one. You'll be the most popular guy saying the most interesting stories about everybody else that you know about, all the bad things about him, bad things about them. You know the information. You'll be the popular guy in the group sitting there. It's bribes us, so you'll be everybody will be coming all the time to listen to your stories, make you feel good. But you got to do. You got to pay me back. You have to pay me back because they're like the judge. I'll give you the money, but you got to do for me. You got to judge me favorably. It's hard. It comes. I'll give you the good feeling of doing this sin or doing that sin, but you'll feel good about it, but you got to do it because that's what I want. It's obviously his job, Satan's job is to make us sin. And the same way when it comes to sexual enjoyment, person tells us that you can enjoy yourself. How about keeping the laws of Hataras HaMishpach, of Jewish families' purity? How about the laws of mikvah that the certain wants us to not to perform? Keep away. One of the most important laws in the Jewish in the Torah. Terrible punishment. Person does not keep that, but come again. It tempts us with the physical enjoyment involved, and but he'll give it to him. But he tempts us with that. But payback is we got to go against the law of the Torah, of mikvah. So all these are different examples of how this is the way of Esav, and many great people were brought down by their Yetzer Hara's bribery, and we don't have to be judges to have the temptation of bribery. Every person, every Jewish person, has that all the time because we have all these great mitzvahs Hashem gave us, and the mitzvahs that Hashem gave us is for our benefit. Even though the challenges, it tries to get us to get up in the morning to go to pray in the shul. Maybe it's Shabbos during the week, the person get up, go to shul to daven to pray to Hashem. It's the horror says, don't worry. He tempts us to sleep later. It's cold outside today. You sleep a little in, under the delicious covers, and you won't have to go to shul to daven, but you got to pay me naturally, but you don't go to shul. Naturally, she's tempting us, bribing us, and wants his payback. These come together. Some things are separate. With the judge, you give the money, later you get the judgment. Here they come together. Don't get up, sleep in. Don't go to shul to pray to Hashem. So we're faced with these bribes of the Torah a whole day long. When it comes to getting up in the morning, when it comes to the way we speak, the way the way we eat, everything we're doing. There's laws of the Torah, great laws that Hashem's giving us to perfect ourselves, to come to the world to come, to get reward for all the different things and mitzvahs that we're supposed to do. But it doesn't come for nothing. It comes from standing up to the Yetzer, not receiving the bribe, not accepting the bribes from the Yetzer Hara. Praying that, they feel so much better. Somebody thinks you'll enjoy life much more. Don't keep the laws of the Torah. And they try to bribe us and show us how much we'll gain monetarily, and the food that we eat, and so on and so forth. This is what we have to think about. You don't have to be a judge to be offered a bribe. You can be a very Jewish person and we're offered bribes every day by the Yetzer Hara, and we got to stand up to the Yetzer Hara and say, Mr. Yetzer Hara, I'm going to do what Hashem wants, not what you want me to do. I want what Hashem wants me to do. And I'll eat the right thing and talk the right things and live the right way Hashem wants to live, and therefore I'll be close to Hashem and I'll get the reward in the world to come. And that's what the Jewish person is all about.